Okay, we will just wait for 1 minute before we start. And it's actually 1 past 6, so we can start now. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Welcome everyone once again to the Majlis Ulama online class for book 6, and today is week 4. Before we begin, congratulations to all of you. Today is 15th of Ramadan, the Wilada of Imam Hassan alayhi salam. And we will start with a prayer that may Allah count us all as the friends of Imam Hassan and those who understand him as well. So my name is Ali Jaffri, and inshallah we will be going through the first part of akhlaq and history today. So last week we had fiqh and aqaid, and as you're aware, on alternate weeks we do fiqh, aqaid, akhlaq, and history. So I won't go through the first few slides as you have been reviewing them in all the sessions. I would encourage you to have your same notebook that we created on day 1 ready today, because and like in every class, because you'll be making some notes in it, and there are some things that you would want to write down and remember for future. So thank you for all of those who are punctual and available a few minutes before and attending the classes regularly. We will have the chat function limited to host only, so if you need to talk to me, you can talk directly. At times, I will open up the chat if there is a question or an activity, and then you can talk to everyone. So just a reminder for those who may have joined the first time, MUS have got 7 books in their curriculum, and we are covering book 6. To get our intentions right, we do this in every class, and today we'll be talking specifically about intentions as well. But let's just all review our intention and make this intention together, that I am in this class today because I want to learn to follow my religion properly, become a better person, and support my Imam of the time. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasten his reappearance. So as usual, we'll start with the dua before starting our lesson from the Holy Quran. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Rabbi zidni ilma. My Lord, increase me in knowledge. With this fact that without Allah helping us and our own efforts, our knowledge will not be increased. So may Allah increase all of our knowledge. Today we'll be discussing akhlaq first, and then history in the next section. Let's begin with discussing akhlaq. And as a quick recap, in the first 2 weeks when I was going through the akhlaq topics of the previous books, we mentioned a number of akhlaq subjects, the actions and the manners and the good morals that we need to be mindful of. You would remember, there are a lot of them. For example, backbiting, how you should eat, how you should talk, cleanliness, dealing with transactions, and all your activities in your daily life. So we concluded from the recap that akhlaq should reflect in all our actions. Everything that we do from the time we wake up all the way up to when we go to sleep, we should have good akhlaq showing in our actions. So let's learn a technique today which will help us practicing good akhlaq. And this is where I want you to make some notes. This has been taught to us in a lot of Islamic teachings and is discussed in much detail in the higher classes, but I'll make it as simple as possible for you today. So we'll go through 3 parts of our day and 3 activities during those parts. The first one is called al-musharata, The second one is called al-muraqaba, and the third one is called al-muhasaba. This is also mentioned briefly in the book 6, in the akhlaq section, but inshallah we'll present a summary of that today in our lesson. So what is al-musharata? Our religion has told us these activities, and if we follow them, then inshallah we can practice good akhlaq. So al-musharata means when you wake up in the mornings, then don't just rush off the bed. So usually you would wake up and you like jump off, and if it's school days, then you're worried about like getting ready and getting out of the house in time and making sure all your things are done. So you plan for the for what's right next for you after getting out of the bed. These days we have a bit of a luxury that you don't have that rush to leave the bed, and also you have a little bit more time in terms of missing out the transport part. So there's no traveling involved, and you can either use that time in your bed or you can use that time doing something more wisely. So musharata means that don't just rush off the bed, but make an intention to please Allah during the day. So when you wake up and your eyes open and you look around yourself, thank Allah that He's given you life, and you are awake, and He's given you health. But make an intention that you will please Allah during the day. And it would only take like a few minutes only. You don't have to sit there and do some like hours of planning. But make that intention, and then if possible, plan the day and be ready. So whatever you have to do in that day, which should mostly be coming in from your previous days, or if something that you have thought at that time. For example, you would have to attend your school classes. You need to do your prayers. If you need to play for a bit, if you need to talk to your family, if you need to talk to your friends, plan all that out in the day so you are prepared. And then start off the day with some prayers and du'as. So hopefully you have woken up for Fajr, and then you're waking up again. But if you're waking up for the first time, then start off with the prayers. And if for any reason you've missed the Fajr prayer on time, then try and start your day with the prayer and making that dua. Also, a good practice is to say salam to everyone as soon as you wake up, which will help you connect to them and also wish them a good day. So before al-musharata means when you wake up in the morning, don't just start your day straight away. Leave yourself a few minutes and do these things, and that means that you'll be more prepared for the day. Al-muraqaba, and hope you'll be making notes out of this. The videos are available on YouTube as well, but if you make notes, then obviously it'll be good for you. You can look at them anytime in your notebook. So al-muraqaba means watching your actions during the day. So now you have begun your day, and let's say you are going into your school class, an online class that is happening, or you have signed up for an online activity, or you're doing activity at home with your parents. Make an intention. So if you are learning something, make an intention that you're learning this so that you gain knowledge, and then you can put the knowledge into good use, which will benefit everyone. So that action that you're about to do, the learning one, turns into ibadat as well. And be prepared for what you're about to do. So if in the morning you're doing your school classes, but in the afternoon you have been given a task by someone to fix something for them, or to create something, a drawing, or if you need to talk to someone about something that you're planning, anything that you're about to do, think of it in advance, and then you'll be more ready, and you can find the aspect if there are any possibly bad actions involved. then you'll be ready. Let's say you're about to have a conversation with your friend, that you will talk to him for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, or about how he is, what he's doing. Then make sure you talk to yourself and about the friend only. Try not to talk about other people, because then there's a chance that there might be some slandering or defaming or backbiting involved in there. So if you have planned, then you'll know what you're about to do. And then anything that you're talking to people, then please think before that, and again, you'll be then prepared on what you're about to say, and the chances of errors are minimized. And if you do make mistakes, there are mistakes that happen, and we are all human beings, then try and correct them straight away. So if you have said something wrong to someone, then say sorry to them straight away. If you don't have a chance to say sorry, then keep that in your to-do list, but ask for forgiveness from Allah. But al-muraqabah essentially means that think of a camera recording you all the time. And if you had a camera on you like all day, then you'll be really mindful of your actions, and make sure like you do everything the best possible. The last one is called muhasabah. And this is an activity for the end of the day. And as you didn't rush off the bed as soon as you woke up, don't just quickly fall asleep. So as soon as you go into bed and you are ready to sleep, just give yourself a few minutes. It could be even a few seconds as well. But do some thinking at that time. What happened during the day? Was I good to people? Did I upset anyone? Did I did whatever I planned for? And if you review your day before you're sleeping, then if there are any wrong things that you may have done, then you can you can do your tawbah. So there's a mistake in the slide. Have I done tawbah for any, rather than I don't? So if you have done anything wrong, have you done the tawbah for that, or have you said sorry to that person? And make a note of what you did in the day, and end your thinking with an intention for the next day. So whatever you've done, then you say, okay, next day, let's say you give sadaqah every day and you forgot to do the charity, then make an intention that I will do charity tomorrow. And if you follow these three guidelines, then you'll have the best day possible. Let's touch on good intentions and how important good intentions are. And the way to the way to think that is you are doing a lot of good deeds all day long, but imagine you find out at the end of the day that Allah has accepted nothing. So you prayed, you were nice to your parents, you were you give sadaqah, you learned, you played with your friends, to increase the love and friendship between yourselves. So you did all the good actions, but Allah said none of that is accepted. And obviously, that's not, that you're not in a good place if that happens, and that could be due to intentions. So either you had no intention of what you were doing, so you were doing things, but you were just doing it like a robot, like one thing after the next. You didn't think about it, you just carry on doing one thing after the other. Or you have a wrong intention, so you were doing something good, but you were doing this, for example, to show off to other people, or to think big for yourself. Or you were not sure, so you were praying, but you were not sure like why you were praying. Is this a good deed? Should I do this? Should I not do this? You're just unsure of what's happening. And this is where good intentions come into place. And and it's a reminder that every time you do something good, then set yourself an intention that it is to please Allah, and in that case, your good intentions will become acceptable by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let's do a little activity, and I'll open the chat here for you to give me the answers. Actually, you can talk to me directly anyway. So yeah, if you look at this picture in which one person, probably a rich person, is giving charity to a poor person or a box. Tell me, like, what sort of intentions could this person have in his mind when giving this charity box? So what could he be thinking? And you can write things in chat. What could he be thinking when giving this box, uh, perhaps like for food or with gifts or anything to this person? Yeah, so SM Safir says what he might do with it to make people think. Hassan Jaffri says to make people think how thoughtful he is. Iman Fatima says all human beings are equal, so should be treated equally and righteously. Yeah. Anything else that could be going in his mind? This person, Zainab Ali says he could have the intention of helping the poor man for the sake of Allah. Very good. Yeah. Sana Hussain says as a gift. Daniel Jaffri says to complete his Islamic duties. Yes. Qasim Ali says he can be thinking that he's a really good person and will go to heaven. Yeah. So all sorts of good intentions come to this person's mind. And I thought of a few as well. And let me share that. So this person might be thinking, I want to show my friend that I help the poor. There are other people around. And he might want to show other people that I'm helping the poor. He might be thinking that, oh, I have something extra. Let's say I have an extra gift that I don't use. Let's just give it to the poor rather than throw it in the bin, right? He could be thinking, I'm a very great person and I'll always help the needy. He may be thinking that my mother or someone asked me to just go and give this to a person. So, he didn't have any will in this. Someone asked him to give charity and he just took it and give it to that person. All of these would have, if he had any one of those thoughts and some of the ones that you've mentioned in the chat, this deed is a good deed, but it won't be accepted. The right intention is that, and some of you, I'm sure all of you would have think that, but you were giving me answers so that what else he could have been thinking. But the right intention would be that Allah wants us to help the needy with dignity. So, not showing off or not to belittle them. And I'm following my religion. So I'm following what my creator, my God says to do in terms of charity. So, that shows that even a normal action, a normal good deed cannot be accepted because, you may not have the right intention. So at this point, we were supposed to have a Kahoot, but I've kept that to the end so that, we'll have a Kahoot game at the end of the lesson. And if you haven't downloaded the Kahoot app from Kahoot's website, or if you're using it on your laptop, then please be ready for that at the end of the history lesson just after this. So let's review akhlaq in terms of key points, and you can make a note of these as well in your notebooks. Keep checking yourself at different times of the day. You may forget and get busy in different things, but in the afternoon or in a few hours time after you wake up, just check that am I going right? And if you keep a check on yourself, then hopefully your day will pass by and you'll have good akhlaq. Try to make an intention before every action. We've discussed that. Qurbatan ilallah. It's a very significant word, and it's said usually like before prayers, but it can be said before every action, and essentially it means that I am doing my task only to get closer to Allah. This also means that if you're about to do something which is not right, then you won't be able to say Qurbatan Allah in there. So if say you haven't spoken to your parents in the right voice, you were supposed to help someone and you didn't help them, then you can't say Qurbatan Allah and not helping someone. As soon as you say that or think that, you would stop with that action. Do tawbah if things slip. So there will be mistakes. No one's perfect over here. There will be problems. And in young age, when you're learning, you do go through a lot of issues. So if you have managed to do something wrong, then do tawbah straight away. And there will be people like elders around you who would correct your mistakes. So if they see you doing something not right, they will explain that in a very nice way. Hopefully, like, not in front of everyone, but nicely, quietly explain it to you. Take that wholeheartedly to understand what they're saying, and take their advice. It is one of the hadiths that if a hadith or a riwayah, or probably like a good saying, that if someone gives you good advice, they are your best friends. So if someone tells you how to improve, they are your best friend. Someone tells you continuously, you're really good, you're really good, you're really good, then they're probably not your best friend. The best friend is the one who tells you how to improve. Okay, so we will move to the next section in our lesson about history. And before we make a start, maybe you can say a salawat on Muhammad wa ali Muhammad, and gift it to Imam Hassan alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Okay, so book 6 has topics relating to the Prophet, our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But as today was the birth of Imam Hassan alayhi salam, I wanted to just highlight a few points about Imam Hassan so that all of you know more about this holy Imam. And inshallah, we'll connect it to the Prophet as well, and carry on with the discussion on the Prophet in the next lessons. So Imam Hassan is our second Imam. I'm 100% sure everyone would know that so far. He was born on the 15th of Ramadan in Medina, which is today. So again, it's a very happy day, and we should all wish him and the Imam of our time, Imam Mahdi, congratulations and facilitations for the day. Hassan means doer of the good. So it is one of the riwayats as well that before Imam Hassan, there wasn't anyone in Arabia called Hassan, and his name was especially set for him, and it means doer of the good. He was the first grandson of the Prophet, so son of Imam Ali and Sayyidah Fatima. So basic facts, but everyone needs to be very clear on what these means, and this is, this will fill up your duty of knowing your Imam. Some more facts about Imam Hassan alayhi salam. Imam Hassan loved worshipping Allah. All of our Imams, loved worshipping Allah in different ways, but he used to pray and worship Allah and do, munajat and du'as a lot. And one of the things that has been mentioned in history that Imam Imam Hassan performed Hajj 25 times during his lifetime on foot. So that's how much he loved going for Hajj, and because he lived in Medina, he obviously was very pleased with going to Hajj, and I did that so many times. He was very, very, very generous. His generosity is very popular amongst a lot of Imams, and also in history as well. It's said that Imam Hassan, his food table was always open for everyone, whether they're poor or whether needy or whether not. But he always wanted to offer whatever he had, whether it was food or whether it was other things, to people. Imam Hassan was part of one of the 5 Panjatan who went into Mubahila against Christians. And that's a very, even though he was the Imam, he wasn't the Imam at that time, but he was about, he would be the next Imam. But being part of Mubahila is a great honor, because Allah asked the Prophet to choose the 4 best people at that time to go against the Christians and do Mubahila. But Prophet didn't choose anyone else apart from the Ahlul Bayt, and that included Imam al-Hassan as well. Imam Hassan also treated everyone equally. So at that time, in Medina, there were slaves, there were poor people, there were Arabs, there were non-Arabs, people from different religions. But Imam Hassan was very famous and known for treating everyone equally, and giving them their rights, and making sure that they are all treated well. The time of Imam Hassan is quite a significant time, because when Imam Hassan was born, the Holy Prophet was still alive, and this meant that Islam was at its peak. So Prophet was nearing to his time of passing away, but he was almost like the leader of the Islamic Ummah. Everyone knew the Prophet. Everyone praised what he said and what he did. Imam Ali and Sayyidah Fatima and all the Ahlul Bayt were treated really nicely, because the Prophet was still alive, and Imam Hassan was given the due respect at the time of the Prophet, and everything was fine until the Prophet was alive. When unfortunately the Prophet passed away, things started to change, and we won't go into the details of the history of what happened, but the first big issue that happened was that Imam Ali was deprived of his status and reputation. The Prophet, at the event of Ghadir, when he was returning from Hajj, very clearly said that Imam Ali would be his successor, and the Imam after the Prophet is not between the people. But he was deprived of all his rights, and then eventually martyred as well during the month of Ramadan, and we will commemorate his shahadat in the next week on the 21st of Ramadan. And same thing happened with Sayyidah Fatima, the beloved daughter of Holy Prophet, that during the time of the Prophet, she was given all importance. She was given the respect as a woman. She used to have the reputation of dealing with the women and teaching them and Islam, and all the good things that were possible. Sayyidah Fatima was used to do during the time of the Prophet. But as soon as the Prophet passed away, she was given a lot of hardships. Even though she wanted to do good things, but she was restricted, and she was treated in a bad way, and so much so that she eventually passed away as well, not long after the Prophet. So she passed away. We say that either within 75 or 90 days of Prophet's passing away. And so when after Sayyidah Fatima, when Imam Ali passed away, Imam Hassan became the Imam. And as you can imagine, that because of the time, all the people treating Imam Ali not well, unjustly, and Sayyidah Fatima as well, Imam Hassan was given a very hard time too. They didn't accept it, apart from very few people. No one accepted him as an Imam, and it was the first time that Imamat was there after Imam Ali, because Imam Ali has been there all the way from Prophet's time, and people have seen him and people have heard about him from the Prophet as well, which was also a hard time. But when Imam Hassan came, he was in a very complex situation. So what happened was that when Imam Ali passed away, who was also called the fourth caliph at that time, then most of the Muslims felt that there should be a fifth caliph as well. And one person named Muawiyah, who wasn't even in Medina, he claimed himself as a caliph after Imam Ali, just by himself. And even so, that Imam Hassan was the successor of Imam Ali, And before Imam Ali passed away, he appointed Imam Hassan as the Imam of people, but this person just self-appointed himself. So people were divided at that point. They were not sure that should they listen to Imam Ali's advice and accept Imam Hassan as their Imam, or they should follow the Caliph's way, where after 1, 2, 3, 4 Caliphs, we will have the fifth Caliph. So they were divided, and the Muslims were about to go into a war, which would obviously meant a lot of bloodshed and loss of property and a lot of mishap. So Imam Hassan at that time proposed a peace treaty, and it was very popular, at that time, and it gained quite a lot of significance because of this peace treaty. The war was stopped, and so there was no bloodshed or loss of property. We won't go into the peace treaty in detail, but there were 5 points within the peace treaty which said that Muawiyah can become the leader of the Ummah, but he would rule according to the sayings of the Prophet, and also the teachings of the Holy Quran, and there were a few other points in there as well, which was binding him to become the leader, because Imam Hassan in general, he doesn't want the leadership. He is, if someone else become a leader, that doesn't mean that he doesn't remain an Imam. So he said you can become a leader, but you will follow the teachings of the Prophet and the Holy Quran. And that treaty was not followed, by Muawiyah, and at a time, people were able to see clearly, because of his actions and Imam Hassan's actions, who is on Allah's side by following Allah's command, and who is upholding the treaty and who is not. So one of the outcomes of that treaty was that people who were divided to find out who is the right person was able to see who is the right person. Okay, so that is end of the history lesson. We will go into Kahoot now, and I will share my screen so you can be ready with that. So just give me one minute. So if you can be ready with your mobile phones or your laptops, and if you can, I'm going to so if you can see my screen, then just write in the chat that you can see the Kahoot pin, and you're ready to play. This Kahoot would be on today's topic. So we discussed intentions, good akhlaq, and Imam Hassan today. We'll give it a few minutes for everyone to join. We have about 20 people in the class. We've got 11 so far. I'll wait for a few more minutes. If you have the Kahoot app, then you can add the pin in the bottom middle of it, and then you'll be ready, and you'll see your name on the screen as well. Okay, we've got 16 people so far. I'll give it another minute or so, and then we'll start. Okay, if you can join in with your right name, it will be really good. We have someone the random characters. If you can rejoin with the right name, um, I'd say like, that is also part of good akhlaq. Okay, we will start now. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So, 1 moment. Every question lasts for 20 seconds, and the correct answer and the fastest answer gets the most points. So the first question is, what does musharata means? Think at the end of the day, think at the beginning of the day, think during the day, or think all the time. If you have been making notes in your notebooks, then you would have the right answer. Yes, musharata means thinking at the beginning of the day. So don't rush off the bed, but give yourself a few minutes or seconds to think and make the intention, and then start your day. Okay, so this is the board. Let's move on to the next question. What does muhasiba means? Again, the same 4 choices, but it's a different one. So if you know what the previous one meant, then that would obviously not be one of the answers. It is not in order, as I explained, so be careful with that. Good. So muhasiba means think at the end of the day, so review your day and ensure that you've done all the right things. If you haven't, then make up for them by doing tawbah. And if you have upset someone, then ensure that you have it in your list to apologize to them when the next time you see them. Okay, question number 3, muraqabah. And if you've got the first 2 right, then this one should be an easy one. Great. So muraqabah means think during the day. For those of you, I see only 15 people answered and there were about 17. You have to answer within the 20 seconds. Otherwise, your answer is not recorded. Okay. So we have Hassan right at the top, and Sister Zainab and Sister Mariam are all catching up. Question number 4. And read the questions clearly. Intentions can be what? So what sort of intentions could you have? What sort of intentions could you have? So yeah, so this is where the question was slightly tricky. If the question said intentions should be, then the answer was good, because intention should always be good. If the people who said not good or bad, that's sitting on the fence. So you should have some sort of an intention. You can't have no intention, because if you have no intention, then your action is not accepted. And all of these are correct. So you could have either good, unknowingly bad, or hopefully there'll be very less people who would have a proper bad intention, or no intention. So all of these are intentions, but you should have good intentions only. Sorry, there is a question of sister that she is not in yet. I'm sorry, like we are halfway to the day, so you can still enter the PIN number, which is 84654, into your mobile phone or laptop and join in from this point. Unfortunately, we won't be able to begin from start. Inshallah, next time, we before starting, you can let me know. Okay, question number 5. What does qurbatan ilallah means? And read all the answers. They are very close, but this is an Arabic term, and we need the exact meaning of qurbatan ilallah. They might all be correct answers, but find the one that I mentioned in the lesson. Perfect. So intention that Allah should reward you, that is also an intention. However, the word should not be in there. So you're not telling Allah what to do, but you can have an intention that with a good deed, there are rewards. Some people say the intention to know Allah. Again, that's a very good intention. And some said intention that I know what's best. That's not really a good intention, because if you start feeling about yourself that you know what is right, then you could end up in doing bad deeds as well. So the intention should be that whatever gets us closer to Allah is the best thing to do. Okay, Sister Mariam has taken lead from here. MashaAllah. Let's move on. Tawbah or repentance should be done straight after a bad act. Is that true or false? So again, listen or read the question properly. Should Tawbah be done straight after the bad act, or it could be done anytime? Yes, so you can do Tawbah anytime. The doors of Tawbah and repentance are open, but it should be the best way to do Tawbah is to do it straight after. So, as I was mentioning before, you saw an elderly person passing the road, and you could easily go and help them, or there was someone who dropped their shopping, and you could have easily helped them out, but you just passed away. You didn't even think. After a minute you realized, oh, I should have done this, and straight away they say sorry to Allah, and next time you will be more mindful. You could remember that at the end of the day and do tawbah as well, but if you create a habit of doing tawbah straight after the bad act, then you will stop doing those bad acts, and inshallah Allah will help you as well. Okay, we have a change in the leaderboard once again. Let's move next. So now the questions are about Imam Hassan, and that will make you remember some of the points I mentioned. Imam Hassan's peace treaty, was it against the Muslims? Because he wanted someone else, or he asked someone else to become the leader, even though he was the leader. Was it against the Muslims? No. So some of you may have said because Imam Hassan, it was Imam Hassan, you can never go against the Muslims, which is the right thinking. But there is a concept that is, that floats around, that because Imam Hassan gave in and made someone else the leader, that is not good for the Muslims. He should have fought the war and, did whatever needed to be done and became the Imam. But Imam Hassan wanted peace. And if peace is in someone else becoming the leader, he's happy to do that, because doing a peace treaty doesn't stop him from becoming or being an imam. He will always remain the imam regardless of whoever is the leader. So well done to all of you. Next question. What does Hassan means? So all the answers may be correct, but I mentioned the exact meaning of Hassan. If you can just pick that one. Great. So Imam Hassan was generous, he was loving and caring, he was the best person. But Hassan, the word Hassan or the name Hassan means doer of the good. Okay, brother Farhan has taken the top. So well done, Farhan. And second last question. Imam Hassan was treated unfairly. and this is by all the majority of the Muslims after the Prophet's time. Yes, that is the correct. So he was treated unfairly, and as I mentioned, after Imam Ali, he was supposed to be the righteous Imam, and everyone should have just followed him to success. And they treated him unfairly, and they got divided first of all, and then after that as well, the majority of the Muslims, didn't follow him. Okay, let's move on to the last question, and Brother Farhan still maintains the lead. Who was alive when Imam Hassan was martyred? So there's a very sad story on the 28th of Safar, the day when we commemorate the Prophet's death anniversary as well. Imam Hassan was martyred the same day. And there was basically no one alive at that time. So when he was born, the Prophet, Imam, Bibi Fatima, obviously everyone was there. And when unfortunately, when the time of his passing away came, there was no one, at that time, which was very sad. Like if your grandfather or your father or your mother who dearly loved you, if no one is around, then it's a very, very sad time. So Imam Hussein, who alayhi salam, who is Imam Hassan's brother and who succeeded him as an Imam, was there, and he helped him at that time when he was nearing his death. So well done to all of those who got this right. Let's see the final results. So number 3, 9 out of 10 is Hassan Jaffri. Sister Zainab, 9 out of 10 as well. And Farhan, 9 out of 10. So well done of you. All of you got one, and runners up are Sister Zainab and Sister Muhaddisa. So all of you got 9 questions right, but Brother Farhan was the quickest one, and hence he's at the top. So congratulations, and may Allah increase all of our knowledge and our tawfiqat. So let me just get back to the presentation now. Okay. So that was our assessment of the day. Did everyone enjoy that? Can I have some responses in the chat? Are you liking the Kahoot, or do you want to go back to normal question answers, like multiple choice ones, or do a self-assessment? Perfect. So most of the answers are yes, that's all good. So yeah, I'm glad that all of you are enjoying, and more importantly, you must be taking notes and learning from it as well. Okay, let's conclude Imam Hassan's part, alayhi salam, in the lesson. The first point is, and this is for every Imam, one of our duties is to know our Imams. So the first 11 Imams, and we have plenty of chances to celebrate their wiladats and their death anniversaries and historical occasions like Eid al-Mubahila and Ghadir. So those are the days at least that you can make an effort to know about the Imam that it is linked to. Try and know some of Imam's famous characteristics and then follow it as well. So not knowing is enough, but like try following it too. So what was Imam Ali famous for? He was famous for like everything basically. So he was a very brave person. He was a generous person. He was very knowledgeable. He followed the Prophet. Imam Hussein, he had characteristics that were known by Imam Sajjad, very famous for his praying. Imam Jaffri Sadiq for learning knowledge. So find out famous characteristics of your Imam and follow it as well. And something that we specifically learn from Imam Hassan is the importance of maintaining peace. So from your own side, whenever you see that things are not going well, and either two people are not happy with each other, or you're not happy with each other, with someone else, or in the community or in your family or in your friends, something is not right, try and do things that will maintain peace, and love praying and worshiping Allah, like Imam Hassan and all of our Imam did. When you go for your namaz or you fast, just love that moment, and look forward to that moment when you're about to read the Quran, for example, and think about others more than yourself. So Imam Hassan was really generous, and he used to constantly think about people around him, and how he can help him, how he can support them, and how he can make them feel better. So try and think about others more than yourself, inshallah. There was a nice graphic that I got from someone, and it nicely explains, some of the principles of a successful life. And I will just read them out because we haven't got much time remaining. But if you want to make a note of them, then these are really good things as reminders. So Imam Hassan, had all these traits in his own lifestyle. Behave with people the same way you want them to behave with you. Do not deceive anyone who seeks your advice. Patience and forbearance is the ornament of a human being. Arrogance, greed, and jealousy results in destruction of a person. To fulfill the oaths and covenants is a sign of a true man. So if you make a promise and you don't fulfill it, that's not a sign of a true man. Excessive humor destroys the personality and dignity of a person. Perhaps this requires a slight explanation, that maybe you are that sort of person who likes to joke all the time, or be funny all the time, and you did it with a good intention. But Imam Hassan says that excessive humor, if you joke all the time, then your personality and people would not take you as a serious person, and this will impact you. So joking and being funny and humor is good, but to a certain extent only. So that's it. Yeah, that's it for today. Hope you've learned some new things about akhlaq and about our holy Imam, Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba alayhi salam. Let's read the dua of the Imam of our time. And today I want to read it in English because we've read it in Arabic for last three classes. Let's read it in English for the next three classes, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. Oh Allah, please do send blessings to Muhammad and the household of Muhammad. Oh Allah, be for your representative, the Hujjat, son of Al-Hasan. Your blessings be on him and his forefathers in this hour and in every hour, a guardian, a protector, a leader, a helper, a proof, and an eye, until you make him live on the earth in obedience to you and cause him to live in it for a very long time. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala Muhammad. May Allah hasten the reappearance of our holy Imam, and inshallah one day we can celebrate the wiladat of Imam Hassan alayhi salam together. So just before we end, the next class will be on next Saturday, which is the 16th of May, and we will be discussing fiqh and aqaid topics. As a reminder, please be prepared 5 minutes before. Have your same notebook and pen ready, and try to be in a place where you don't have any distractions, and we will continue to have Kahoot. Let's end with a prayer that may Allah keep us and everyone else safe until then, inshallah. Thank you once again, and Salamun Alaikum wa Rahmatullahi wa Barakatuh.